Mexico, the lure of mountainous landscape, the gracious courtesy of hospitable people, and the history of age-old forgotten races beckon the motorist over the new Pan American Highway from Laredo to Mexico City. Complying with the simple formalities established by the Mexican government, the travelers are on the first lap of their journey rolling down to Mexico. "150 miles south of Laredo lies Monterrey. Founded in 1596 and situated at the foot of the Sierra Madre Mountains, Monterrey is an important industrial center and is noted for its beautiful cathedral. Beautiful and rugged Huasteca Canyon to the east of Monterrey and hemmed in on all sides by the enormous cliffs of the Sierra Madre. Beyond these slopes lie villages where life has changed but little with the passing centuries. Continuing southward and crossing the Tropic of Cancer, the well-patrolled Pan American Highway enters the torrid zone. For more than 500 miles, the highway follows a comparatively low-lying route to the east of the mountain range. At Tamazunchale, the ascent begins to the plateau 8,000 feet above sea level, where mountain peaks meet the low-hanging clouds. The Pan American Highway is truly a magnificent engineering achievement. Although rising to a height of more than 8,000 feet, the climb is gradual and the curve is well banked. Crossing the deep gorges spanned by massive bridges, monuments to the Mexican engineers and workers who made this highway a reality, the travelers drop magically into the valley of Mexico City. In Mexico City, every facility has been provided to furnish the traveler with complete tourist information. Mexico City, a cosmopolitan metropolis, presents a combination of the ancient and the modern. Along the broad and beautiful Paseo de la Reforma are several circles of flowers and monuments. The Columbus statue, the memorial to Cuauhtemoc, last prince of the Aztecs, and the magnificent monument to independence. Beautiful Chapultepec Park. Chapultepec Castle overlooking Mexico City is an historic site in a picturesque and romantic setting. The Zocalo has been the center of activities in Mexico since the year 1325. Facing the Zocalo is the great Cathedral of Mexico City, built on the site of an Aztec temple. The Municipal Palace is a striking example of old colonial architecture. The National Palace is built on the site occupied by Moctezuma's palace. Above the main entrance is the Liberty Bell, rung in 1810 and marking the beginning of Mexico's move for independence. The most recent contribution to the architecture of Mexico City is the magnificent Palace of Fine Arts, the center of the capital's cultural life. Broad and busy streets with well-ordered traffic and imposing buildings characterize the business section of Mexico's capital city. Dominating the scene is lofty, snow-capped Popocatépetl, raising its majestic peak to a height of 18,000 feet. Well-paved roads with a constantly shifting panorama of majestic mountain scenery make it possible to visit many places within a few hours of Mexico City. A monument to General Zaragoza marks the entrance to Puebla. In any Mexican town, a visit to the market is always an interesting experience. In fact, it is one of the things that must be done. An hour's drive west of Mexico City is Toluca, and Friday is market day at Toluca, teeming with merchants from all the surrounding country who come to exchange gossip as much as to sell their wares. The market presents an intimate touch of the life of the people. An equally strong appeal to the tourist is made by the finely woven serapes and blankets of fantastic design and color. The gaily colored baskets and other straw work, the curios carved from wood, all constitute a veritable storehouse of Mexican handicraft. Almost within sight of Mexico City and bearing mute testimony to the age-old history of this vast land stand the pyramids of San Juan Teotihuacan. Near the pyramid is the temple of Quetzalcoatl, covering a vast area and resembling a stadium, undoubtedly a center of worship for this ancient prehistoric people. The minute and detailed carvings are evidence of the advanced cultural level achieved by these early inhabitants. The famous floating gardens of Xochimilco on the outskirts of Mexico City are truly a romantic setting. It was here that the ancient Aztecs once grew their vegetables and flowers on rafts covered with earth. For years, these rafts floated aimlessly until finally they became rooted to the bottom of the lake to form the islands of today. Xochimilco, with its flower vendors, gaily decorated boats, floating bands of musicians, is the Sunday playground of Mexico City. Farther along the road toward the Pacific is Tasco, which has been preserved by the Mexican government in all its colonial quaintness. One does not need imagination in Tasco. It is today as it always has been. Red tile roofs, winding cobblestone streets, and houses almost literally built on top of one another on the hillsides. A dream city in a dream setting. Other scenic beauties near Mexico City are Los Remedios and its centuries-old aqueduct to Mexico City. Tepozatlan with its native village quaintness and magnificent old church. The unusually shaped pyramid of Tanayuca of forgotten civilization. Guadalajara, the second city of the Republic, also famed for its tiles and pottery. Retracing our steps over the Pan American Highway, we regret leaving our southern neighbors and the fascinating beauty that is Mexico. We bring our visit to a close with a hasta luego to Mexico and the land of everlasting sunshine.